check out this cool zebra print blooming gel flower nail tutorial. So let's get right into it, guys. So we're gonna start off with a cuticle softener, and I just apply a little dot of that onto all of my nails, and I make sure to rub that in and let it sit for a minute. Then I go in with my cuticle pusher and I just gently push back my cuticles like so on all of my fingers. And then I go in with my cuticle nippers, and I'm just removing the small layer of dead skin. I'm not cutting at any live skin, so this shouldn't hurt. Just this layer of skin that's stuck over my nails, and I find that this really helps with retention. Then I'm just going in with my buffing block and buffing all of my nails, and I am doing this over my nail dust collector. And then I go in with some rubbing alcohol and I wipe the surface of all of my nails before I start applying. So I'm going to be using a peel-off base from Jello today, and I go in and I put this on all of my natural nails. I cure it for 60 seconds, and then I do go in with a second layer and cure that second layer for 60 seconds as well. Next, I'm taking some rubbing alcohol again and just wiping the sticky layer off of my nails. So for tips today, I'll be using Kiara Sky jelly tips, and I already know my sizes because I've done this before with these type of nails. But just to find your size, they're all numbered on the box, and on the nail they should have numbers as well. And you just size them to your natural nail, making sure they fit just like this, sidewall to sidewall. And then I go in with my gel extend gel, and I'm using this one from Kiara Sky today, and I just apply a small drop of that on the inside of the nail like this. You turn your flashlight on, and I like to do it before I put it in the lamp. I put it on my nail, and then I put it directly under the flash cure lamp and hold that for the time until the light turns off. And then I repeat that on all of my nails, and after I do that, I put both of my hands in the big UV lamp to cure it completely for 60 seconds, because it's not going to be fully cured from just the flash lamp all the time. So I go in to just be extra safe with the big lamp at the end. And it's okay if you make mistakes. There's always a bit of a learning curve with this one, and it depends on if you're using good quality materials or not. For me, it took a lot of trial and error to find out which products I like better, how to position myself. As you can see here, I'm putting my other hand to hold it directly in front, and I do this to make sure that the nails are on straight, because sometimes if you have your lamp positioned diagonally or to the side even, you might accidentally put your nails on slanted or diagonal or a little bit to the side, and it looks off, and at that point they're already cured, and it's possible, but it will be a real pain to take them off and redo them at that point. So you want to make sure that you are applying it in a way that the nail is going to be straight. And for the amount of gel that you're supposed to put, you will also find out with trial and error. I can't give you an exact measurement of how much to put, but I eyeball it with just like a generous blob, if that makes sense. But you'll find that if you put too much, it will spill over your nails. And if that does happen, make sure you wipe it off immediately, because you don't want that gel curing on your fingers. We can go in and fix it after by filing it off. But if you can try to prevent it, that would be helpful for you. So next I'm going to go in with my electric drill. I'm starting off with my cuticle bit, and I'm going on a very low speed for this. And I do it over my nail dust collector again, just to protect my lungs and keep my area clean. And with the cuticle bit, I'm just going around my cuticles. You want to make sure you're angling it the way that I am, just to prevent any cutting. But this cuticle bit is relatively safe. I've never got cut with it before. It's not sharp, it's a round ball. And then I go around all of my cuticles just like this, very lightly. I'm not doing a lot of filing, just to clean it up if there was any excess gel. And then I'm going in with my nail trimmers, and I'm just taking off some length on my nails because I didn't want them this long. So I'm just cutting them on all of my nails like this. And then I'm going in with my nail file, and I'm just sharpening it up a little bit because they are already pre-shaped. I just want it to be very sharp. And then this is my favorite part. I go in with a brush and some acetone and I rub it around my cuticle just like this, and it really makes the nails blend in and look very natural. So you take a generous amount of the acetone and you just rub it in like this until you see the plastic kind of melting away around your cuticles. And then after you do this, just make sure that you do wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, or you could even use water in this step just without soap. And I do this just to make sure there's nothing on the nail surface before I go in and start painting. So I did want a bit of extra structure for these, so I am going in with a rubber base gel, and this is a bit thicker than just using a base coat. And I apply this to all of my nails, and then I do flip my nails over. It wasn't shown, but I flip my nails over for about 60 seconds to let it self-level. And then after I cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds, I'm going in with my Young Nails swipe, just to swipe the surface before I go in with my base coat. So my base color today is going to be Bubble Bath by OPI. Of course, a staple nude color for French. And I'm only going in with one layer for this because the tips are already pre-colored, but I wanted it to be a little bit more pink. And then I'm just doing a very basic white French tip. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we are doing a design on top of it after that will cover it up. So I'm just freehanding it with my liner brush and then cure that before the next step. So I'm going in again with my swipe and wiping off a layer. I do this in between every cure that I do. I'm just going in with my black gel polish and I'm just putting a little dot of that on my palette. And I'm going in with a liner brush, just taking a little bit of that, and we're gonna use this to create the zebra print. It's actually very easy. It's not a difficult nail art at all. It's very beginner friendly. You're literally just drawing these lines, and as you can see, I'm using my hand motion to help me make the design. I'm rotating over my hand while I'm doing the design. If you don't have a very steady hand and you need help, you can do what I'm doing, but it is very easy. You just put a couple of lines, and this is very random. Doesn't have to look perfect. And for the blue color for the flower, I'm going in with this beautiful pale blue color from D&D. And before I do that, I'm going in with my blooming gel. So I'm applying the blooming gel just in the areas where I'm going to put the flower. And you want to use a very thin layer for this, because you don't want it to bloom too much. So I'm just taking a little dotting tool and I'm going with small dots of that blue color for the flower, and I am just putting it in the formation of a flower. So just I used 5 small dots here, and you can just extend it like that, like I'm doing at the ends, to connect it to make it look like a flower. But it's very easy. Doesn't have to be exactly how I'm doing it. You just put a couple dots to make a flower, and very soon they start to bloom out just like this. As you can see, that's from the blooming gel. And then make sure you cure it as soon as you like the design to lock it in. And I'm going to be going in with my rhinestone gel right here, and I'm going in with these just simple silver rhinestones, and I'm just placing them in the center of the flower where I just placed the rhinestone gel. And then after I like where those are placed, I'm just going to use my flash cure lamp. This is just so that they don't move around in the big lamp. And then lastly, I just go in with my top coat. I'm using the matching rubber based top coat for this. And I just apply a generous layer of this, and I cure it for 60 seconds in the big lamp. And after that, they came out perfect, but my last step to make it extra polished and clean is going in with my file again and just debulking it, just to make it very sharp and crisp. That's just how I like my nails to be. And after that, you're all done. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you in the next one.